Norris bottles pole position as Piastri dominates. The FIA finally decides on the future of V10s, and the Ferrari upgrade has helped do consider subbing. Let's get into the latest F1 news. Welcome to our recap of the thrilling qualifying session for the 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix at the iconic Sakhir International Circuit. McLaren dominated the field with impressive performance, setting the stage for what promises to be an exhilarating race. As the qualifying session unfolded, the weather played a significant role. Following unusually cool conditions during winter testing, the scorching heat and gusty winds in Sakhir brought some unpredictable moments to the track. In Q2, the excitement ramped up as drivers prepared to push their limits. Right out of the gate, a flurry of cars hit the track, but the session quickly came to a halt when a red flag was waved due to a dramatic crash involving Esteban Ocon. His Haas lost control, launching into the tire barrier off turn 3, reminding everyone of the risks these drivers face. Once the dust settled and the session resumed, the clock ticked down. With 11 minutes left in Q2, George Russell and Kimi Antonelli made some notable moves, leaving the pits a bit too soon. It was Antonelli, though, who made his mark first, topping the charts on soft tires. But the McLaren duo had other plans. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri turned things around, battling for the fastest time and showcasing their undeniable speed. Their fierce competition added another layer of excitement to the qualifying drama. Unfortunately for some, the day did not end well. Alongside Ocon, seasoned driver Fernando Alonso expressed his disappointment through a sarcastic radio message. He, along with Sauber's Nico Hülkenberg, Racing Bull's Isaac Hadjar, and Alpine's Jack Doohan, found themselves knocked out of contention, leaving fans buzzing with anticipation and questions about what they'll bring to the race. Stay tuned as the tension builds and we prepare for race day. Will McLaren maintain their momentum, or will other teams rise to the occasion? It's a wait-and-see game at the 2025 Bahrain Grand Prix. As we head into the next qualifying sessions, let's take a moment to review the thrilling action that unfolded during Q1 at the Bahrain Grand Prix. The Aston Martin team kicked things off with their drivers being the first on track, setting the stage for the competition. Hot on their heels were the Sauber of Nico Hülkenberg and the Red Bull duo, ready to make their mark. However, it was a rough start for Max Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda. Both drivers exceeded track limits during their initial flying laps, losing out on crucial time. In a tense moment, Verstappen voiced his concerns about his car's performance, stating that something is really wrong. This unexpected twist opened the door for the McLaren team. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris seized the opportunity, moving up the leaderboard and showcasing their excellent performance. In the closing moments of Q1, Alex Albon of Williams narrowly missed advancing, being pipped by Hülkenberg. Meanwhile, Liam Lawson faced difficulties when his DRS malfunctioned. Sadly, both Gabriel Bortoletto's Sauber and Lance Stroll's Aston Martin struggled to find their pace, ensuring their elimination. Oliver Bearman, representing Haas, found himself at the back of the pack as he recorded the slowest time, leaving him to start the race from 20th position. As the dust settled, several key drivers were knocked out at the end of this first qualifying session. With the competitive spirit of F1, fans are left wondering how these outcomes will shape the race ahead. Jeopardy fills the air as we look toward what's next. Will the McLaren success continue to defy expectations? The countdown to race day is on, and all eyes will be on Bahrain as the excitement builds. So, just how much quicker is the McLaren MCL39 compared to its rivals? According to Mercedes technical director James Allison, McLaren holds a significant advantage, being 0.3 of a second faster than both Mercedes and Red Bull over a single lap. This is no small feat, and with 2 wins out of the first 3 races, it's clear that McLaren has emerged as the car to beat this season. Currently, McLaren leads the Constructors' Championship, sitting an impressive 36 points ahead of Mercedes and a further 14 points clear of Red Bull. As the only other team besides McLaren to secure a Grand Prix win, Red Bull poses a genuine threat, but it hasn't been enough to close the gap. Allison has been carefully assessing the competition throughout the first 3 races. His insights reveal that the pace differential is notable, and while McLaren is the clear frontrunner, the actual extent of their speed advantage remains uncertain. He mentioned that during their analysis, the sector times from qualifying and race sessions have shown McLaren maintaining a consistent 0.3 lead. When feeling optimistic, it's reduced to 0.2 over Mercedes, but Red Bull has proven to be a variable factor, sometimes trailing closely behind. In terms of race performance, the gap between McLaren and the rest of the field has also varied. At one circuit, the time difference was a mere 10 to 12 seconds, while in Melbourne, it was notably larger. This variation can stem from how well the car manages tire performance. On fresh rubber, drivers can extract maximum performance, but the real challenge lies in sustaining that speed during longer runs. If the tires aren't optimally functioning over time, gaps can widen considerably. Looking ahead to the Bahrain Grand Prix, Allison highlighted that the track's challenging nature, known for its tire degradation, will be a true test of each car's capabilities. This season's stable chassis and aerodynamic regulations make the gaps in performance even more pronounced, as we are well into the 4th year of these constructs. So, as we gear up for the Bahrain event, keep an eye on McLaren's performance. Will they maintain their lead? Can rivals like Mercedes and Red Bull close the gap? Especially on a track known for its relentless demands on tire management. Stay tuned for more thrilling updates as the season unfolds. Let's dive into the exciting developments in Formula One as we look ahead to the Bahrain Grand Prix. With the recent performances of teams like McLaren, we've witnessed fierce competition at the forefront. As drivers battle for supremacy, margins are razor thin. One racer pointed out that a lead of just 0.2 of a second can often be the difference maker when it comes to championships. However, the real fight is often between those nearest to them, highlighting just how critical every tiny advantage can be. Mercedes is currently focused on ensuring they can consistently score points, especially against Ferrari, and aiming to catch up to McLaren, who have showcased impressive improvements in their car's performance this season. What's noteworthy is the MCL39's ability to manage tires effectively, particularly under hot conditions like those in Bahrain. This tire management is creating a competitive edge for McLaren, giving them a crucial advantage on the racetrack. But how do they achieve this? Insights suggest that the rear of McLaren's car might operate at lower surface temperatures compared to its rivals. This is particularly beneficial on rear-limited tracks, where tire temperature significantly affects overall speed. Nonetheless, it's not just one factor that leads to their success. A well-rounded performance across the board plays a vital role. As for Mercedes, the W16 is packed with innovations, including a small duct designed to tackle persistent challenges faced in previous seasons. This is seen as their last stand to show they understand the current regulations before new changes come into play next season. In other developments, Lewis Hamilton had some critical feedback for his team following a challenging qualifying round in Abu Dhabi. His insights could be essential for Mercedes as they navigate the tight competition ahead. The Bahrain Grand Prix promises to be thrilling, with teams pushing the boundaries of technology and skill. Who will seize the opportunity to shine, and will we see any major upsets? Stay tuned as we bring you all the action from trackside. Make sure to follow us for breaking news, and let's gear up for an unforgettable race. Max Verstappen recently made headlines after his bold claim about the Japanese Grand Prix stirred quite the reaction from other drivers, particularly Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. This humorous exchange caught the attention of Sky F1 analyst Martin Brundle, who noted that Verstappen's comments hit a nerve, resulting in what he described as a direct hit from the Red Bull driver. Last weekend, Verstappen celebrated his first victory of the season in Japan, having secured a stunning pole position ahead of the McLaren duo. After the race, he made an intriguing statement, suggesting he would have dominated if he had the McLaren MCL39 at his disposal instead of his Red Bull. This remark prompted a playful response from Norris, who cheekily invited Verstappen to take a spin in the McLaren, expressing his curiosity about the reigning champion's reaction once he experienced its performance firsthand. As the F1 community digests these exchanges, another layer unfolds regarding McLaren's cautious strategy in Suzuka. Piastri mentioned that the race could have taken a different turn had Verstappen started behind them, hinting at strategy missteps that threaten McLaren's title hopes this season. Brundle weighed in on the situation, proclaiming that Verstappen's comments could risk demotivating his own team at Red Bull by insinuating their car wasn't competitive enough. Brundle's analysis suggests that Verstappen's remarks were twofold, aimed at both getting a rise out of the McLaren drivers and urging his team to pick up the pace. However, he noted that this tactic could backfire, affecting the morale of the talented individuals behind the scenes who worked diligently to provide Verstappen with his race-winning car. Interestingly, Norris's response to Verstappen's claim could be seen as a win for the Red Bull driver, as it demonstrated that Verstappen's words had indeed provoked a defensive stance from both McLaren racers. Brundle emphasized that they should have rebuffed the provocation instead of reacting, indicating that Verstappen's strategy was cleverly calculated to play mind games with his rivals. As the F1 circus moves on to the Bahrain Grand Prix, these psychological tactics and competitive banter become crucial elements in the high-stakes world of Formula One racing. The dynamics between drivers, teams, and their responses to such bold claims can have lasting impacts on performance and morale throughout the season. With everything at stake, both Verstappen and the McLaren team will need to navigate the pressure and leverage their skills to maintain their competitive edge. Stay tuned as the season progresses and these rivalries heat up. McLaren recently faced criticism after their performance in Japan, particularly for the pit strategies employed during the race. Fans were perplexed when Lando Norris pitted on the same lap as race leader Max Verstappen, opting for fresher tires instead of staying out for cleaner air. This decision raised eyebrows, especially as they elected to keep Norris and Oscar Piastri in second and third, despite Piastri appearing faster. As the championship battle heats up with both drivers potentially competing for the F1 2025 title, commentators like Martin Brundle highlighted the pressure on McLaren. With the two drivers in contention, Brundle noted that any decision could disadvantage one of them, a delicate situation the team must navigate this season and beyond. He pointed out the distinctive strategies required for different racetracks, emphasizing that Bahrain allows teams to build a tire advantage by staying out longer. In contrast, the situation at Suzuka saw McLaren at a numerical disadvantage against Red Bull. Brundle raised the question, should McLaren have taken a more aggressive strategy to disrupt Verstappen? The team must consider the implications of their decisions carefully. Bringing Norris in early could put him in traffic and jeopardize his standing in the championship. It's a tough balance to strike. As Brundle noted, it's easier for fans to suggest strategies from the sofa than for the team to execute them in the heat of competition. Switching gears, let's check what's trending in F1 right now. Jacques Villeneuve has doubled down on his criticism of McLaren, stating they were outperformed by a better team and driver, something that should sting. Meanwhile, George Russell chimed in with a disquieting prediction for McLaren. Despite their promising start, Russell reminds the drivers and fans that rivals like Mercedes are hungry and will be aiming to close the gap. As we approach the Bahrain Grand Prix, there's much to look forward to, with exciting tech secrets rumored to be revealed and details on how to catch all the action from the UK coming soon. Stay tuned as these narratives unfold, and let's see how McLaren and their drivers tackle the challenges ahead. Christian Horner, the team principal of Red Bull Racing, recently shed some light on a significant meeting held by the FIA in Bahrain, where the potential return of V10 engines in Formula One was discussed. This conversation comes as F1 prepares for a major regulatory change in 2026, ensuring that the current engine regulations will remain in place for at least 3 more seasons. Horner shared that the engine manufacturers are embarking on a fact-finding mission in collaboration with the FIA and Liberty Media, aiming to chart the future direction of the sport. The FIA has made it clear that the possibility of V10 engines making a comeback is in the realm of consideration. This discussion coincides with F1's move toward fully sustainable biofuels as part of the new engine regulations set for 2026. These regulations will introduce a significant shift towards a 50-50 power distribution between traditional internal combustion engines and electric power, marking a new era for the sport. Leading up to the Bahrain Grand Prix, teams had a crucial meeting with the FIA regarding the potential return of naturally aspirated engines. Since 2014, hybrid power units replaced V8s, changing the landscape of F1 racing. Horner emphasized that the meeting was initiated by the FIA, describing it as a cordial and productive gathering aimed at gathering feedback on the next generation of engines. Horner highlighted the President FIA, Mohammed Ben Sulayem's interest in understanding what the upcoming engines should look like. While the current regulations for 2026 are fixed, there's an effort to consider the long-term trajectory for F1's engine technology. However, when asked about immediate changes, Horner stressed that any new developments are unlikely to occur as soon as 2027 or 2028. Horner pointed out that this initiative is currently a fact-finding mission, focusing on collecting insights from power unit manufacturers. The information gathered will assist in shaping future regulations. With the onset of 2026 wiping the slate clean for engine specifications and chassis regulations, Red Bull is gearing up to enter the engine manufacturing world for the first time, partnering with Ford. Given that Red Bull has heavily invested in their powertrains division, there was speculation about whether the team would lend support to a potential regulation shift towards V10 engines. Horner clarified that the team's infrastructure has been developed based on the current regulations, emphasizing that any future changes must be mindful of the resources that teams have committed. As we approach the 2026 season, there's palpable excitement in the air for Red Bull Racing, a sense of anticipation for the new competitive landscape. Horner concluded by noting how swiftly the timeline is advancing for the engine and chassis shakeup, indicating that in the world of F1, time moves rapidly. As we can see, the return to V10 engines might just be a topic for the far future, but the groundwork is undoubtedly being laid today. Whether it's the thrill of the roaring engines or the excitement of new regulations, one thing is certain: the future of Formula One is set to be electrifying. As we dive deeper into the future of Formula One, there's a buzz surrounding the 2026 engine regulations, gearing up to revolutionize the sport. With Red Bull Powertrains Ford joining the ranks of giants like Mercedes, Ferrari, Honda, and Audi, the landscape of F1 is destined to change. Team principal Christian Horner has acknowledged that returning to a V10 engine is a hot topic for discussion. In action, he admits that while the idea of a screaming V10 is enticing, it must be approached with a sense of responsibility. The conversation has shifted toward what the future engine designs will look like, particularly with the integration of electrification. It raises intriguing questions about whether a V10 engine still holds its place in the sport's progression. Teams are grappling with the diverse opinions on engine design as they strive for a common ground. Horner points out that each team tends to have differing preferences that align with their unique strategies and goals. The ultimate decision lies with the FIA and Liberty Media, as they oversee the direction of the sport. This isn't just a short-term view. It's about establishing a vision for the next decade and beyond. Another topic on the horizon for Red Bull is an imminent rule change that could shake up the current order of F1 in 2025. Horner's insights highlight the ever-evolving nature of this sport, where rules can change the dynamics of competition in an instant. Then, there's the ongoing debate about the role of the driver versus the car, sparked by Max Verstappen's victory in Japan. The intricate relationship between a driver and their vehicle continues to be a focal point of discussion in the F1 community. On a lighter note, Horner has also taken some playful jabs aimed at McLaren, indicating the compromises that teams often face. This adds a layer of rivalry that keeps fans engaged and on their toes. As we steer toward the Bahrain Grand Prix, the excitement doesn't just lie in the race itself, but in the technology and strategies that will unfold. The paddock is alive with anticipation for what's next, and fans can't help but be intrigued by the secrets and upgrades that every team brings to the table. Stay tuned as we follow the developments in F1 that are shaping the sport's exhilarating future. The roar of engines, the thrill of competition, and the innovations ahead promise an electrifying ride for fans and teams alike.